The WCA home has private rooms for seniors who need assisted living. We are a nonprofit home founded 125 years ago for women, now seeking approval for men. Our mission has always been top-notch assisted living. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a chilly Saturday morning here in Mayville, New York at the Access Chautauqua Studios in the seat of the Chautauqua County. 10 degrees when I pulled in this morning, and I just decided, forget the shirt and sport coat. I was putting on my heavy-duty Norwegian-looking sweater here and turtleneck or whatever. I was cold this morning. It was brutal up there on the knob in Ripley. And I want to welcome you to the show, and hope you're having a great weekend already. And want to say, first of all, good morning to everybody, and then good afternoon to all our listeners at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. So glad you could join us here Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. And speaking of WRFA, I was extremely pleased to see my bandmate, Will Russell, was featured yesterday on the Arts on Fire, I think it's called, with Jason Sample. And by the way, Jason's going to be on the show this year. I talked to him coming off of radio and actually show up in person, so you'll actually get to see what he looks like. Radio personalities you don't know what they look like, and so I thought it would be fun. And Jason and I run into each other from time to time, and I just thought it would be kind of a neat thing to do. But Will, thanks for representing us so well on the radio, and I hope you all had a chance to have a listen to his original music. Will is an outstanding guitarist and songwriter, and I'm just really blessed to be able to work with him the last 3 years. We actually are just starting our 4th season, and we're going to be actually playing next week at LSS, I believe, on Thursday the 31st. So we're starting our season like all the other musicians. We come out of winter hibernation right around, I think, Valentine's Day. All of a sudden, people remember there's live music in the county, and there's tons of it. So anyways, so good on you, Will, and thanks, Jason, for having him as your guest. One of the things I always like to point out this time of year, and we don't think about this, I don't know why it's not second nature, but first of all, the wind chill factor is a really big deal here in Chautauqua County. If those winds are blowing and it's getting down in those single digits, you got to be so careful with your skin, your pets, your children, whatever. They just had a thing up on the TV screen this morning. 10 minutes, that's all it takes for your skin to freeze in this weather. And please make sure the pets, they get out there, do what they got to do, and get them back in where it's nice and warm when the wind chill factor is that low. I remember years ago, my very good friend, who's the late Jack Scahill, called me up one morning. He was superintendent at Brockton, and he called me at 4:30 in the morning, and he says, "Well, good morning, sunshine." And I go, "Oh, what? Who is this?" And he says, "You going to close school today?" And I go, "I have no idea." And I looked out, and it says, "It's clear. What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, the wind chill factor is below 20, minus 20 degrees, and we have an agreement that if you have minus 20 wind chill factor, you close school because of hypothermia." That's okay. I guess I was still kind of new to this. And I said, "Well, how do you know that it's minus 20 degrees wind chill factor wherever you are?" He said, "Well, it's very simple. You get on the computer." Remember, I said 4:30 in the morning. I'm not a morning person. So he said, "Get on the computer, bring up wind chill factor calculator, and you put in the wind speed and the temperature." I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So I hang up the phone. I looked at my wife and I said, "What's the temperature?" And she said, "I don't know, it's like 8 degrees. And I said, "Okay, now I need the wind speed." Who has a meter that measures wind at their house? So I opened up the door and I look, and it's blowing pretty good. So all right, maybe it's 15 miles an hour. So I put it into the formula and it was like minus 19. I said, "You know what? Close enough." I closed school. But wanted to give a shout out to all the guys that are plowing snow, and they're out there doing what they got to do to keep our streets and roads open. You know, you guys are our heroes this time of year especially. And my sympathies to all the superintendents out there that have to make those tough decisions in the wee hours of the morning of closing school, because no matter what you do, you're going to take somebody off. So anyways, all right, we got a bunch of things going on here right now that I want to share with you. And then we're going to get to our guest, who is just chomping at the bit. We're going to have lots of fun till this morning, and stay tuned. All right, let's go. Where are we going? Let's go to Westfield right off the bat. Not a long announcement, but just to give you a heads up that for those of you that frequent the McClurg Mansion or Museum, they're having renovations being done right now, and they figure they're going to probably get this done probably somewhere along the lines of mid to end of February. So I want you to know the place is closed until then. And John Wolf's going to be on the show here pretty soon this month. I think towards the end of the month I got him scheduled. But if you have a little look there, there's the nice, beautiful railing coming down the staircase and the wall and all that. I believe that whole area had to be reinforced. It was getting a little spongy, and the mansion is, I believe, over a couple hundred years old. And so it's closed, but if you have any information or you need to get a hold of them for whatever reason, give them a call at 326-2977, and they promise us that when the renovations are done, it's going to be gorgeous. So I look forward to that. Okay, I have a bunch of things to share with you from various chambers of commerce. So let's go to Fredonia. The Fredonia Community Chamber of Commerce will hold its annual meeting and awards banquet Monday the 28th. At Manning's Fireside Manor over on Westlake Road. It's a cash bar cocktail situation beginning at 5:30, followed by dinner at 6:30. Fredonia Community Chamber Board members and officers for 2019 will be sworn into office that evening, and awards will be presented for the Business of the Year, Business Person of the Year, and so on. Oh, Community Service, Spirit of Fredonia, and From the Ashes Award. That's an interesting one. The cost is $30 per person with a choice of dinner selections. If you're interested, give them a call at 366-6200. Okay, sad announcement in that we even have to talk about this, but it's important that we do. There's a workshop called Abuse in the Home, Widespread Health Crisis, Learn Why It Exists. Okay, the workshop is called More Power, More Control, a look at the dynamics of abuse in the home. Natasha Yuma, J-U-M-A, from the Salvation Army News Center Prevention Program. She's a coordinator there. Will be presenting its program Thursday, January 31 from 9 a.m. to noon. It's going to be held at the Salvation Army Center over at 83 South Main Street. Let's see, domestic violence is a widespread health crisis of epidemic proportions. Despite the severity and prevalence of domestic violence, many still have false beliefs about why it exists, the motivations behind abuse, and whether or not domestic violence has serious impacts on society as a whole. The course goes over the basics of domestic violence, giving participants a clear understanding of how to define domestic violence and the impact it has on its victims in society. Okay, so this is my 2 cents. You know, a lot of times we say, oh, they just lost their temper. Oh, you know, don't worry about that. That person's like that all the time. No, it's not okay. It affects the kids, it affects the spouse, it affects everybody in the household. Excuse me. And in many cases, this abuse goes on for a long time and it has lasting impact on the lives of the individuals. I know this because I've worked in the school system for years, and we had to deal with people that just are very abusive, and you should know more about it. Excuse me, darn it. The program is free and is offered through CASIC. It's a 3-hour program. And if you're interested, give Kathleen Colby, the Director of Training Services over there, a call at 664-3608. And they do want you to register ahead of time. Okay, Chamber Federal Congressional Lunch is February 1. The Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce will once again provide an opportunity for area business people to meet with our Congressman, Representative Tom Reed, to participate in its annual Federal Congressional Luncheon at Webb's Captain's Table in Mayville on Friday, February 1st. That's next week. They encourage chamber members to send questions ahead of time. The cost of luncheon is $20 for chamber members and $23 for non-members. For more information, give them a call at 366-6200 or 484-1101. Sounds interesting. All right, that was a chamber here in Mayville talking about what they're going to do for countywide. And now let's go down into the heart of Jamestown with Rolling Hills Radio. Christine Lavin and Jen Siget. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but that's the best I can do. Another program coming up. There's their pictures. I see a banjo and a player and a guitar player. Let's see what's going on here. I don't know these folks. Let's learn more about them. On Monday, February 11th, at Shawbox in downtown Jamestown, New York, Rolling Hills Radio will present these 2 fine songwriters, Christine Lavin and Jen Siget. Christine is a singer, songwriter, guitarist, recording artist who's been based in New York City since 1984. She's just released her 23rd solo album. I don't even have one. It's called, I don't know if I can even say this, Spaghettification. I'm going to say that only that one time. Was number 5 on the month of September, according to international folk DJ Dave Van Ronk. He has suggested that Christine go to New York and make her music career there. She did just that and became one of the most loved, witty, and endearing performers in Americana. Now, let's talk about Jen. She's a singer-songwriter, a multi-instrumentalist, and she has 3 solo albums, still more than I have, under her belt with her latest release, So Long Pollyanna, named as Album of the Year by both John Bomarito, over in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and the Progressive Torch and Twang. So Long Pollyanna was nominated for 2 Jamie Awards, including Best Song for Sugar High, which later won Best Country Song at the Garden State Film Festival in 2014, and its use in the independent film Buffalo. Now, besides touring and playing shows, Jen also hosts a weekly radio show, Eclecticana. Wow. They give me these really hard things to say on Saturday morning. And has been commanding the airwaves for 6 years. Ken Harley, of course, is the host of that program. And that's going to be, as I mentioned, on, let's see, what did I just say? February 11th. Tickets are only $15. That's really a bargain for the people that have that much history and that musicality. If you're interested in getting tickets, 294-0416. Again, call 294-0416. And you always can go on the website, Rolling Hills Radio, that's all one word, .org/tickets, purchase your tickets. I mentioned last year I was there for Tom Paxton. It's a great venue. It's really fun. It's up close. And of course, the meet and greet. You can actually meet these two performers, shake hands, talk music, whatever you like. Okay, back to Mayville. President's Day weekend Winter Festival seeks volunteers. Okay, the festival right here in town is February 15th through the 17th at Lakeside Park, hosted by the Mayville Chautauqua Community Chamber of Commerce. There are volunteer positions available to help staff parking, booths, game, and more. A 2-hour time commitment is all it takes, and most of the volunteers will be in a heated tent or building. For more information, call Debbie Marsala at 753-3113 or give her an email at dmarsala@chautauquachamber.org. They're going to have the Winter Festival, the scavenger hunt, a polar plunge, all kinds of fun things, as always, right here in Mayville. Okay, let's see, moving right along, make sure I'm going in the right order here. I think I lost something. No, I got that. Nope, there it is. Go to Westfield. The Very Thought of You, Lakeshore Center for the Arts, has a special presentation by my good buddy Rick Matthews. He's directing a show called The Very Thought of You. It's February 16th at 7:30 p.m. Limited seating, of course. Tickets, if you're interested, you can call for 224-2133. Tickets are only $10. The Lakeshore Center for the Arts Theater is at 49 South Portage Street in Westfield, right across from the library in the Presbyterian Church up on the second floor. It's an awesome venue. I'm telling you this not because I'm buddies with these guys, but it truly is a beautiful venue. It's close. It has maybe a seating for about 40, 45 people. And so it's a very warm feeling, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Okay, business after hours at EBC on February 21. The Fredonia Community Chamber of Commerce and the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce invite all local businesses to attend business after hours at EBC West on Thursday, February 21. Bring your friends and colleagues to this networking event, and the cost is $13, and it's from 5 to 6:30 over at 34 West Main Street in Fredonia. And if you're interested, give them a call at 366-6200. And I know networking is huge. Okay, a couple more things, and we're going to get right our show. Can't wait. Lots of chamber news. Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce is looking for nominations for the areas of awards for economic development, person of the year, and so on. These prestigious awards have been presented to a broad array of businesses, organizations, and people from around Chautauqua County for more than 30 years. You can read the full list of past recipients on their website under events and news and so on. Each of our 6 community chambers selects a community service award recipient for the year. These awards recognize individuals, organizations that have actively contributed to their communities, past or present. You may email suggestions for those awards to the community chamber coordinators, with all awards to be presented by July. For more information, give them a call at 366-6200 or again 484-1101. And finally, Justin, save a few extra dollars, because it's Girl Scout cookie time. All right, yeah, sales started, of course, in January. There they are. March 31st is the deadline for the sales. I checked with my wife. My grandniece did sell her some cookies, so we are ready. All right, and of course, this is to help the girls with their projects in summer camp. And just to give you one more time, caramel chocolate chip. Classic Thin Mints, Caramel Delights, Shortbread Varieties, Caramel Chocolate Chip, featuring rich caramel semi-sweet chocolate chips and a hint of sea salt in a chewy gluten-free cookie. Now, how can you resist that? Additionally, Girl Scouts who participate in the cookie program this season will have the opportunity to win the Cookie Entrepreneur Experience of a Lifetime, featuring the DC Superhero Girls program by entering the Cookie Pro contest, and so on and so on. So guys, gals, people out there, support the Girl Scouts, get some of those cookies, and it's really great with hot chocolate this time of year. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. We're going to have a public service announcement. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
to Maddie. Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow. I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money going to come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Feed the pig. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before.
that came out right after the announcement about Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah. Feed the pig. Folks, I look forward to this show this is 3 years in a row now, and my guest Randy Anderson is the president of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Welcome back, Randy. Randy sent me an email the other day and says, "Are you ready?" I go, "Yeah." We bolted down the tables and chairs. I got my seatbelt on. This is always a fun, high-energy show, and welcome back.
Thanks, Doc. It's always fun to be here. And before we get too far down the road, happy birthday.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
All right. It comes about this time every year.
I remember that.
You brought me a cupcake.
I brought you a cupcake. Yeah. I had one this year, but I ate it.
Well, that's probably a good thing. Well, the thought that counts.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So a couple things before we get started. Randy, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from my family, and I know my dad would have appreciated the fact that you guys put the display up for Dad on his paraphernalia and memorabilia when he was the grand champion of Buffalo, New York, as the Soapbox Derby winner in 1933. And so the display was this past summer, and then you moved the stuff over to the actual site where the Soapbox Derby was here in Jamestown area. And so that was a real treat, and Dad just loved talking about that. It was just too bad he wasn't around to talk with you, but there is an archive show of the program. He was on my 100th show, and I actually got to interview my own dad about all that, but that was really nice, so thank you again.
Well, you're very welcome, Doc. Your dad was a pioneer in the sport of Soapbox Derby racing, and as we both know, Soapbox Derby racing is still a very popular event. We met each other down at the track in Jamestown. That's right next to the stadium down there. And wasn't it fun to see all those kids and moms and dads and grandpas and grandmas just cheering them on?
And I was trying to imagine my dad with my uncle, who was his older brother, over in Dayton, Ohio. Just the two of them with some sports writer. Think about that in today's day and age, that you would let your kids go with a total stranger out of state in somebody's car. I mean, you just don't do that anymore. And Dad was 11 years old or something like that, and they're racing with, I think it listed something like 10,000 spectators. I mean, and not that there's 10,000 spectators, but there's probably hundreds of people at the race in Jamestown. And then they go now to Akron, and I've been to Akron a couple times, and there's hundreds and probably a couple thousand people that are there as well. John Williams was on the show. He was great. We had a great time talking with him.
Yeah, John's a great advocate for the sport of soapbox derby racing. What I liked about all the material that you shared with us about your dad was that your dad and his brother, they built that car themselves with their own ideas. They had it sketched out.
Sketched out on hotel stationery. Back of a napkin kind of a deal.
I mean, the rules were pretty wide open back then. You could do whatever you want, and they were very creative and designed a winning car themselves. As we know now, the sport of soapbox derby racing is kind of a kit car kind of a thing.
Well, safety.
Yeah, and it's standardized the rules and leveled the playing field and all that kind of stuff. But your dad was a pioneer.
We see the pictures, of course, of any sport. I mean, look at all the equipment in football or baseball, what they used to use, and nowadays. So it was really fun seeing the pioneering of, you know, I don't know, one car looked like it was an old oil tank or something like that. My dad's, he tells me, was out of baby buggy wheels and orange crates and cardboard, and so yeah, it was really a lot of fun, and so that was nice. And also, I want to thank you for allowing me to come tour that day. You gave me a personal tour of the Hall of Fame, And folks, I told you at the time when I was just after down there, it's cavernous. Yeah. You see the storefront and you think, ooh, this is a little tiny place. It goes forever, and there's so much cool stuff in there. And I'm really pleased that I know at least 4 people that are in that. I know Don Rideout, I know Mike Sayers, and the Swanson guys, father and son, Mel and Nolan.
Mel and Nolan.
They're all friends of mine.
Sure.
And probably I know others, but those are the only 4 that came to the top of my head. So anyways, so I'm going to be quiet. How about for those the first time hearing about this, that's a little history of the thing, and then get right into it.
The Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame was organized in 1981. So this is our 38th anniversary.
Wow.
Our mission is to honor and preserve the sports history of Chautauqua County. And we do that in a couple of different ways. We honor the sports history of the county by inducting people into our Hall of Fame. And we'll get to that in a minute. We preserve the history of Chautauqua County sports by operating our museum, which is located on 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown.
It is truly a museum. It truly is. I saw stuff in there. How did you get some of that
We've got
stuff?
a little bit of everything.
There was motorcycles, there were javelins, there were people's running shoes, there was whatever.
We're at 6,000 square feet right now.
So you went to the back, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I got to come visit again.
And everything that's in our Hall of Fame museum has been donated to us by the public. We're not out there buying things on eBay and doing that kind of stuff. We receive items from the public that they want us to save and preserve and to collect.
You know, I'm going to tie together this show and the Hall of Fame. And in this way, we both are trying to talk and show and present to others the good stuff.
Exactly.
Am I right?
You just nailed it.
For 38 years, you have captured the good stuff when it comes to sports in Chautauqua County. And I think everybody does this. Maybe you've seen the same thing. Oh, I'm from Chautauqua County, it's no big deal. There's big deal stuff in Chautauqua County going on all the time, and especially in the history of our area, and especially in sports.
There's 2 things that really tie everybody together in Chautauqua County. Schools and sports.
Absolutely.
You're the expert on schools. I'm the expert on sports.
I don't know much about sports.
Anyway, so the other thing that's kind of cool about our organization is that we're an all-volunteer organization. Yeah. Nobody's getting rich by doing what we do. We do it because we like it. So we have a very dedicated group of 30 individuals
that
volunteer their time and effort to keep the Hall of Fame open and to do what we do.
Are you looking for more volunteers?
Always.
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 What does a volunteer do?
What we need right now are people who can give up maybe 1 afternoon a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, that can come down to the Hall of Fame, open the doors for us, be like a docent, someone who welcomes visitors, shows them around, and there might be a couple of small clerical duties that we might ask them to do, but it's nothing that requires a lot of hard work.
Right.
It's not physical labor.
No computer skills.
No. And you get to hang out. It's a fun place to be, and so we're looking for volunteers all the time. And if someone is interested in like I say, 3 hours a month, 1 afternoon a month, they can contact me at 640-6219. 640-6219.
Okay. You know, I always say this. It's just too bad I don't live a little closer to some of these things. It would be
you'd be perfect.
I'd be perfect.
You'd be perfect.
I'd be perfect.
Because you already have an interest in sports.
Oh, yeah.
And you're a curious kind of guy that wants to learn
I'm like
other
a 6-year-old that keeps asking questions. That's what I tell people. Is how do you do the TV show? I go, because I'm like a 6-year-old. I just, what about? You know, so much fun. Okay, so 38 years you've been, so how many people have been inducted? You must know this. You always know these statistics. Don't fail me now, Randy.
Okay.
Give me an estimate.
With the inductees that we're going to put in this year, we'll be at an even 200. So over 38 years, we've inducted 200 outstanding athletes, coaches, administrators, etc.
Okay. Now, my first thought is 200 is not very many.
No.
I mean, 200 sounds like a lot maybe when you're listening right now, but 200 over 38 years, all sports and how many years do you go back to? To the turn of the century, probably?
Well, I'm going to tell you about an inductee that we're putting in this year who was active in the major leagues in 1899 to 1906.
So this is a prestigious group. Only 200 inductees.
Only 200.
So you can't buy your way in. You can't.
No.
Yeah. So this
you have to accomplish something really outstanding in sports. And we're looking for people who've had a lifetime in sports. Not just the guy or the girl who was a superstar in high school, but what did they do beyond that to continue to be actively involved in sports?
Speak of long-term and lifetime, I had Don Ryan out here on the show a while back. His reputation is just blown sky high. I mean, he's like top 10 of the century of strongmen. You guys,
Don is, I don't know, 10 or 12 halls of fame. Yeah. We're only one of them. He's off the charts.
But how cool that is! I mean, this is significant stuff.
And that's the kind of people that we have in Chautauqua County.
Let's talk about the 9 inductees that you're going to do this year. I can't wait.
Okay, let's get up a picture.
All right, who we got first? It's not you.
No,
give him a second.
Okay.
All right.
We're coming.
Okay.
Well, I know who's coming first, so I'll start it.
Start with the first picture.
Yeah,
Jeff.
we're going to see a picture of Charles Johnston.
Okay, there
Charles
he is.
Johnston is a former resident of Brockton. He was the tennis coach at Fredonia Central from 1962 to 1989. During his tenure at Fredonia, his overall record as the coach was 374 wins, only 47 losses.
Oh, moly.
7 undefeated seasons, 13 Chautauqua County championships, 13 Section 6 championships. He was the New York State Coach of the Year in 1982. He was the Section 6 tennis chairman for decades. He's in the Fredonia High School Wall of Fame, and he's in the Great Belt Hall of Fame. Wow. Chuck Johnston, outstanding tennis coach.
Wow, that's quite a record.
Yeah, I'll say. Next up, we're going to see a picture of Cheryl Bailey, a graduate of Southwestern Central. Although she was a very fine athlete at Southwestern and Slippery Rock University and was a very fine coach at Denison University, she really made her name in the field of sports administration.
Oh.
She was the chair of the NCAA Women's Soccer Committee from 87 to 93, the chair of the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee from 2001 to 2004. She was the general manager of the USA National Women's Soccer Team that won a gold medal from 2007 to 2011, but she was the executive director. She was the person who started the National Women's Professional Soccer League. So in the world of women's soccer, she's like Roger Goodell.
I'm sitting here going like, what?
Yeah.
From Chautauqua County.
A girl from Southwestern High School.
Just down the road.
Okay, next up we're going to see a picture of Luella Baker Kai.
Luella Baker.
She was a former resident of Stockton.
I got to tell you, when I see the picture, I don't know anything about these people, so I'm sitting here and going like, well, I wonder what sport they were in.
You won't get it.
I don't know.
Graduate of Cassadaga Valley.
Okay.
She was the first female umpire east of the Mississippi River.
I wasn't even in the right area.
The first female umpire east of the Mississippi. She umpired baseball and softball for over 20 years. She was instrumental in organizing Babe Ruth League softball in Chautauqua County. Big advocate of girls' involvement in sports.
Right on.
She's an inductee of the Chautauqua County Umpires Association Hall of Fame and the Western New York Softball Hall of Fame.
She looks like she's like, yeah!
She was no nonsense.
No
nonsense.
Look at that square jaw. I would not mess with her. Oh my. I thought you were going to tell me she was like a track star or something.
No. Oh, the next picture, you're going to get the sport right away.
Oh my God. This is like Bruce
You got
Bruce
it.
Lee. Like, whoa!
This is Mark Weaver.
Mark Weaver.
He's our first ever inductee from the sport of martial arts. He's been involved in martial arts for 42 years. He's an 8th degree black belt. He's proficient in karate, kung fu, kung tao, ninjutsu, kickboxing, and a whole bunch of other disciplines. He's trained in Japan, Singapore, Korea, Thailand. He's an inductee of the USA Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He's been a coach of the U.S. National Martial Arts team at a couple different times. He's an employee of the GA Family Services down in Jamestown.
Whoa.
Good place.
Don't mess with him.
Yeah.
All right, for those,
discipline isn't an issue for Mark Weaver.
he just looks at you and you just listen. For those of you listening on the radio right now, he's got a black tunic with a belt. You said 8th degree? I didn't know there was degrees of black. I thought black is black.
Yeah.
And on his arms, he's got tats. Let's see, beyond his right arm, from his elbow up to his wrist says warrior, and on the other one it says within.
Warrior
within.
That's his mantra.
I guess. And which other martial arts does he do?
He could, well, kickboxing, karate, kung fu, kung tao, ninjutsu, on and on and on. He's proficient in a number of disciplines. How about that?
I'm not messing with this guy. Wow, look he's staring at you.
That's
like,
one of the things that
whoa.
we're most proud of, Doc, at the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame is we recognize outstanding achievements across the spectrum of all sports. We're not just a baseball, football, basketball, baseball Hall of Fame.
Basics, yeah.
We cover them all. Well, look what we've talked about so far. Yeah. Umpiring, sports administration, martial artists.
Tennis.
Yep. Our next guy, his name is Michael Lopriori. Here's a new area of sports, athletic training.
Oh, sure.
You can't have sports without athletic trainers.
That was my problem. I didn't have a trainer.
There you go. Mike has been an athletic trainer for over 40 years. He's been an athletic trainer at the collegiate level, such as at the University of New Orleans and at the University of Louisiana Lafayette and Kansas State University. Wow. He also was an athletic trainer in Major League Baseball for the Cincinnati Reds, Detroit Tigers, LA Dodgers. He was the rehabilitation director for the New York Mets and the Arizona Diamondbacks. He even got into the NFL working with the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow, he's been around.
In 1988, he was with the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Mike is a graduate of Jamestown High School.
Do you know him?
I do. Athletic trainer.
You know,
that didn't mean, that's not the reason why he got in, just because I knew him. He got in on his credentials.
I'm sitting here thinking about my sports in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. I excelled at nothing. I was in gym class in sophomore year. That's a true story now. I'm standing in line, like you're waiting for, what's our exercise for the day or whatever. And then coach, he says, Hamels. Yes, sir. Like, wow, I didn't do anything. I'm just standing there doing that. He goes, report to the field today after school. I want you to try out for cross country. I'm 6 foot something or other. So I don't even know what cross country was. Well, long story short, I ran the first year horribly. And as the story goes, there's a young guy in front of me, Wally, and he was real short. All the cross country runners are a lot shorter than me. They're like built differently. And there's this lanky old me. I'm at the end of the line. And I used to say, this was my famous line, Wally, tell the bus driver I'm still coming. Don't leave without me.
Doc, we won't be receiving a nomination from you for our Sports Hall of Fame, okay?
Maybe I'll write a song about it.
Yeah. There's the Songwriters Hall of Fame for you, Doc.
Yeah, there we go.
Our next inductee is Tiffany Seekings Decker.
Oh my gosh.
Look what's laying in front of her.
Oh, I just realized okay.
She is a trap shooter of the highest degree. She is
Wait a minute. Maybe people don't know what a trap shooter is.
Well, see that gun there?
Yeah, I do.
See that orange disc?
I do. I know what it is. My listeners, viewers may not know what it is.
Okay, those orange discs get thrown up into the air by a machine. Yeah, and she shoots them out of the air.
Wow.
She is a 10-time New York State Amateur Trap Shooting Association All-American.
10?
She's been the captain of the New York State team multiple times.
Wow.
She's been a 7-time national member of the All-American team, and she's in the New York State Trap Shooting Hall of Fame. She is a Jamestown High School graduate.
Wow.
Another person you won't mess with, Doc.
No.
You can't outrun her. Even though I know you were an outstanding cross-country, you are not outrunning that gun.
Easy target. When you say All-American trap,
All-American.
what does that mean?
That means she's one of the 10 best shooters across the country. Yeah.
Top 10, All-American.
Yeah, across the country. That's how you get to be an All-American trap shooter. Chautauqua County resident again. How about that?
The question just came through, do these All-Americans go on to the Olympics? Was she in the Olympics, do you know?
I don't know if trap shooting is an Olympic sport. That's a wonderful question.
It just came through my earpiece.
I'm going to have to get back to
You
you
were
on that.
speechless. This doesn't happen.
You got me speechless, and I'm not often speechless.
I do know that they do that biathlon with the ski or whatever it's called, and they ski and
then they're shooting
shoot
at
the
targets.
But that's different.
I don't know about trap shooting. That's a wonderful question.
Yeah, Jeff thinks it might be summer games, but we'll have to find out more.
Okay. Next guy.
Next guy.
Maybe the picture is going to give away his profession.
Singer.
This is Bob Palcic. He's a graduate of Cardinal Manzini High School in Dunkirk. He made his props in the world of sports as a football coach. At the collegiate level, he coached at Dayton, Ball State, Wisconsin, Arizona, Ohio State, Southern Cal, UCLA, and SMU. He also coached 12 years in the National Football League with the Falcons, the Lions, the Browns, and the Saints. He coached in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, with the Toronto Argonauts. During his coaching career in college, he coached 3 Outland Trophy winners. The Outland Trophy goes to the most outstanding lineman each year in college. Bob Palcic has coached 3 of them.
Now, that's outstanding. When you said when he was with those the NFL, was he head coach?
No, he was like
assistant coach or defensive coach.
Exactly, line coach, defensive coach.
That's spinning off anyways.
Well, there's only X number of jobs in the NFL, and if you're getting one of them, you're the real deal.
Right.
When he was nominated to the Sports Hall of Fame, we received letters of endorsement from Urban Meyer, the head coach at Ohio State, and Terry Donahue, the former head coach at UCLA. He's dealing with the absolute top people in the world of college and professional football.
From Jamestown?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk. Manzini.
Cardinal Manzini High School. In fact, even though I think Bob is 70 or 71 right now, he's working in Florida as we speak with kids who have just graduated from college who are trying to improve their skills one more time so they can get drafted by an NFL team. So he gets hired by guys who want to improve their skills as linemen. And so
he like has his own clinic or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
That's impressive.
Okay. Our next inductee is Jack Harper. Jack Harper. There
football player.
Yeah, right. Jack Harper lived in Jamestown for over 40 years. He was a pitcher in the major leagues from 1899 to 1906. Among the teams he pitched for were the Cleveland Spiders, the St. Louis Cardinals, the St. Louis Browns, the Cincinnati Reds, as you can tell by his jersey, and the Chicago Cubs. He was twice a 20-game winner in the major leagues. He won 23 games for the Cardinals in 1901, and he won 23 games for the Reds in 1904.
What's his name again?
Jack Harper.
Harper. And he's from?
He was born in Titusville, Pennsylvania, but he resided in Jamestown for well over 40 years. That's how he got into the Chautauqua County
for those of you listening
Sports Hall
on
of Fame.
the radio right now, he looks like he's got a woolen high collared jersey on. What does it say? Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
And it's this little kind of like, I don't even know what you call that cap. It's not a typical ball cap. It's like some little hat.
Well, now we're looking at baseball uniforms from well over a century ago.
Look at the size of the
You
buttons.
are absolutely correct. They were made out of wool.
Oh.
They were. I mean, all the polyester stuff hasn't been invented yet.
Can you imagine how that feels on a hot
summer day?
Oh,
Yeah.
boy,
And back then, when Jack Harper was playing Major League Baseball, there weren't 32 teams or whatever we have nowadays. You know, I think there were 8 in each league. So only 16 teams. Wow. And so if you've made it to the major leagues, you're in a very exclusive group of athletes.
You know, I was thinking too, at that time, baseball was like a preoccupation of Americana, right?
There weren't all the other.
Yeah, there was no football, there was no soccer, there was no whatever.
Yeah, all the other sports weren't necessarily at the level they are now. All the other entertainment options weren't there at the time.
Yeah.
These guys, like Jack Harper, they traveled from city to city on trains. The farthest team west was St. Louis. There were no major league teams farther west than St. Louis at this time, and they traveled by trains. It was a tough life.
You know, people always say that about musicians, you know, hitting the road. It's not that much fun.
Overrated, right?
Overrated. Now, I got an update for you, okay?
Okay.
This is from my news department here. Men have had trap shooting part of the Olympics since 1900.
Wow.
And women's since 2000. That's what it says.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that'll give Tiffany Decker something to shoot for. Literally.
Oh, she doesn't miss the target on that one.
Okay, one more inductee to take a look at. You'll get this one right away, too.
Okay.
This is Vince Gullo. Although Vince Gullo was a great athlete at Fredonia High School and at Brockport, he really made a name for himself by what he's done as the baseball coach at Fredonia Central from 2002 to the present. His record is 305 wins, only 106 losses. 9-time county champion, 10 Section 6 championships, 5 Far West Region championships. He won the New York State Class B championship twice in 2006 and 2007, or excuse me, 2006 and 2013. 4 times he's been the Post-Journal Coach of the Year. Twice he's been the New York State Class B Coach of the Year. He's coached 7 All-Western New York players and 2 All-State players. That's Vince Gullo, Fredonia High School. Still coaching, still cranking out great teams, still cranking out great players.
It's a love affair with the sport, isn't it?
He has invested so much time and effort into making Fredonia High School a powerhouse. It wouldn't be unfair to say that Fredonia High School is perennially the best baseball team in Chautauqua County. Wow. And it's because of Vince Gullo.
For the listeners and viewers right now, can you walk them through this? And I know you know these answers, and I know most of it. Section 6, Far West, Class B. I mean, people will say, oh, so what's the big deal? I mean, this is not a simple matter of taking a team through those steps. Could you kind of explain how that works? Whatever the sport is.
Okay. The state of New York is divided up into separate sections that all have numbers. Basically from, well, it'd be the west side of Rochester over to Buffalo, and from, like, say, Lockport down to Chautauqua County. That's considered Section 6. So think of how many schools are in Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Erie, what's those other counties up there, Doc? Genesee. Yeah. Okay, those are the county schools that are in Section 6.
You're probably talking about 100 schools that are somewhere in that range.
So when you're a Section 6 champion, you have defeated all those other ones. And now, if you've become a Section 6 champion, Now to go on, you play other sections.
How many sections are there?
Oh gosh, good question. I don't know the answer.
Okay.
But after you've won Section 6, now the next step is to play Section 5, which is the greater Rochester area, all the big schools out of Rochester. So if you're able to defeat the people from Section 5, now you're the Far West champion.
So,
and now if you're the Far West champion, now you can go on to the next step, which is playing for the overall New York State Championship. Like there'll be a semifinal game and then a final game. So when you're when you're the New York State champion, you've beaten everybody.
And many of these people have done that.
Absolutely.
Many inductees.
We're going to talk about some others who have done it this year. In addition,
I'm still in awe of that. When people, you have to let that settle in a little bit, because and people are listening going like, okay, so Jamestown, Dunkirk, the Little Ripleys of the world, the old Chautauqua School District, the Panamas, they've gone on to be state champions.
They've gone on to be state champions.
To be the best of the best that year. Yeah. So what do we got that's coming up?
So in addition to the inductees that we're going to honor this year at our banquet.
9 of them.
By the way, our banquet is on President's Day. It's always on President's Day. Easy for old people like you and me to remember, Don. President's Day.
Is that Abraham's birthday or George's birthday? Remember those days?
So President's Day this year is Monday, February 18th.
Okay.
And our banquet is going to be held at the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club.
Mm-hmm.
It gets underway at 5 o'clock with a social hour. Dinner is at 6, and we get into the award ceremony promptly at 7. So in addition to honoring the 9 inductees that you saw earlier, we also honor outstanding high school, collegiate, and community athletes from Chautauqua County that have achieved outstanding success in the past calendar year. When I say they've achieved outstanding success, I mean they've won a state championship, they were a first-team All-State player, maybe they were an All-American, maybe they won a national title. And when I tell you we're honoring 50 of these people,
50.
That tells you what a hotbed of sports we have here in Chautauqua County.
So this could be a team, an individual, a duo, whatever. Right?
I mentioned earlier about state championships.
Yep.
There were two state champions from Chautauqua County
State
this past
champions.
year.
All right.
Yep. The Clymer Sherman Panama, also known as CSP, the CSP football team won a Class D state title last year.
So they beat all the
other Class D states.
Now Class D refers to size.
The smallest schools.
So they were the best of the best in their size.
But across the state, they beat everybody. Wow. So that's Coach Ty Harper is going to be honored at our banquet, along with some of his players from CSP who were first-team All-State players.
Who were they?
Like Cameron Barmore, Michael Beaton, let me see, Derek Eklund, Garrett Hinsdale, Robbie Overton. I believe are all of the CSP football players who are first-team All-State players.
So who picks the first team?
Sports writers from across New York State.
So they're looking at all the players in Class D, the small schools.
Yep.
And these guys were the best of the best.
Exactly.
Of the best.
Yes.
Wow.
Another team from Chautauqua County that won a state title last year was Chautauqua Lake softball.
Right where we sit.
Ray! Right. Emeralds clapping for Chautauqua Lake softball.
All right.
They were the Class C
champions.
A little larger school.
Okay.
And they were the Class C champions of New York State. So that's Coach Sue Teets. And her player, Olivia Anderson, was named the most outstanding player of all the Class C softball
players. Out of all New York State?
Yeah. Olivia Anderson.
Sounds like
right
a
here in
sounds like a future
Lake.
inductee, maybe. Huh?
Oh, you never know.
Keep going, Olivia.
Let's see what she does after she graduates from Chautauqua Lake.
Right. Keep an eye on her. Put her on the radar.
So those are the state championship teams, football and softball.
Wow.
But we're also honoring other individuals, such as Bill Kendall from the sport of archery, Anthony Barone from baseball, Bubba Brown, baseball, Sam Mullen, baseball. Here's one you'll like. Jennifer Yost was a national gold medalist in the Special Olympics.
I know Jennifer.
For bocce.
Bocce.
So, Special Olympic,
Right.
national champion, bocce. We're going to have Jennifer at our
Oh,
banquet.
how cool.
Absolutely.
Good for Jennifer.
When you're an athlete, you're an athlete, you're an athlete.
Absolutely.
And I don't care what
Best of the
level
best.
you're at,
Yep.
if you're the best of the best, we want you. Other people that are being honored this year are Hope Petrocarlo, an All-American at Edinburgh in the sport of cross country. Andrew Bernard, football. Alex Card from Southwestern in football. Cole Snyder from Southwestern football. Easton Tanner, Maple Grove football. A couple of girls in the sport of gymnastics. Kayla Allen and Samantha Gilbert. Some youth wrestlers like Jordan Joslin, Taylor Pinzock, Chase Shirley, Skylyn Tomlinson, Mika Walters. We have some track and field athletes that we're honoring, like Dagan Bryant and Emily Hanlon, and your friend Mike Sayers. Mike Sayers won 2 more gold medals this year in the Empire State Senior Games.
Unbelievable.
In his age group, which was 60 to 64, he was the best in the state in the shot put and the discus.
When we used to teach together, he used to bring the javelins to school. I'm like, are those legal? Mike's like, well, I don't know, maybe about 5'8", and the javelins were like 7'4".
Here's somebody that you know, the Rowe family from Ripley. Bryce Rowe was the New York State 160-pound wrestling champion this year.
All of New York State, that weight class.
The best 160-pound wrestler in the state from Ripley.
And just up the road from me.
There you
go.
go.
Road. He lives up at the end of the Welch Hill. The Rowes have it's like a tradition in their family. They got 1, 2, 3 generations of wrestlers. His uncle Brad, he was, I believe, All-American.
Is that right?
Yeah, he won the state champions in that 1 year.
In addition to those athletes, the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame each year honors certain athletes with what we call our legacy awards. Those are awards that have been endowed by supporters of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. That means they have made a financial contribution to our endowment fund, and they have endowed certain awards. The most outstanding male swimmer in Chautauqua County is going to Matt Romholt from Jamestown. The outstanding female multi-sport athlete will go to Madeline Bowen from Panama. The male multi-sport athlete will go to Cole Snyder from Southwestern. The outstanding female swimmer will go to Carrie Ann Yucknitz from Panama. The outstanding high school baseball player will be Seth Schrader from Fredonia. The male basketball player will be Brady Wolleben from Silver Creek. The female basketball player is Erin Raddick from Southwestern. The outstanding athletes at Panama Central are Derek Eklund and Madeline Bowen. The outstanding athletes at Jamestown High School are Bryce Jackson and Allie Stockwell. And the outstanding male tennis player in the county is Neil Jens from Fredonia Central.
Wow.
So you put that all together, Doc, and we got a real busy night. 50 high school.
Are you emceeing this thing?
Of course.
You better bring some cough drops. You're going to be doing a lot of talking, man.
I do have a lot of help. I do have a lot of help from our banquet chairman, Chip Johnson. Now, I haven't yet told your listeners where you can buy tickets
and you have
to
40
our
seconds
banquet.
to do so.
And I'll get it done. You can get tickets at Matt's News on 3rd Street in Dunkirk. You can get tickets at the Jamestown Cycle Shop on Harrison Street in Jamestown. You can get tickets at the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame on 3rd Street in Jamestown. Or the easiest way is to just pick up your phone right now and call Chip Johnson, 485-6991. 485-6991.
And this will be on February 18th at the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club. How much?
$50.
50, same as it has been right along.
Yep.
Okay, if anybody wants to know more about the Hall of Fame, who do they call?
Randy Anderson, 640-6219.
Okay, and folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest today has been Randy Anderson, the president of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Randy, this was fun. Let's do it again next year. What do you say?
If you'll have a birthday next year,
I'll
come back.
All right, we'll do it. All right, folks, stay warm. Stay warm. Get those driveways plowed. Put on the extra sweater. Watch out for the pooch or the cat. And we'll see you again right here Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. Take care. Be well. Bye now.